Here we are, boys and girls. This is reveal number 413. This is a 1954D original bank wrapped Fed Reserve roll from Oklahoma City. Be the Fed Reserve branch of Kansas City. And I'll go ahead and start popping this one open. Got my little tool here used for opening cell phone screens. It just I can just rake it open and it opens the roll pretty well. You just use this little guy underneath the lip and you just pull up and pop the roll open. Because it's plastic, it doesn't affect the coins at all. I'm barely touching the coins anyway. I'm mostly touching the paper. But see, you get it and you start prying it open like this, and you could get the roll of the paper open all the way around without affecting the coins. Then you can just pull the paper right off the coins. Pretty cool. And hello, Ant. And there we go. I've got the roll open. Hang on a second. Let me throw in live chat and be sure I'm not going to miss anything. And here's coin number 1. This will go to Crispy. Crispy will get coin number 1 in the roll. It's got some toning on it because it is an end roll coin out of an original roll. And it looks like we have a later die state coin that does not have any doubling on the obverse. We'll check the reverse of the first 10 coins, but thereafter we're not going to bother because, well, 1954D is just not one of those issues that's known to have double die reverses. Kind of ugly coin, but it is what it is. It is toned, and you have a 1 in 25 chance of getting a roll end coin when you get involved in these rolls. Hello, Malcolm again. Oof. Second coin in this roll doesn't look any better than the first as far as die state, detail, and overall spottiness. Looks like we kind of might have one of those abused die rolls where the dies got just abused, making really late die state coins. Here is Steven. Steven, coin number 3 in the roll. And once again, just another coin where the die got abused to death. That's the same as coin number 2. And here is coin number 4, Penny Hoarder. Well, nothing better there. Another late die state, 54D. These are kind of critter coins. They've been, looks like they were minted through a chocolate bar. And just late die state. Not very good for hunting. Number 5, Malcolm. Never a good thing when we can get through a roll this fast. It means we're not finding anything at all. Here's number 6. Just one late die state coin after another. Not pretty, folks. Not pretty. This has even got some pretty pocketed die wear on it. It looks almost like a really nice double die, but it's just not. Like on the top of the R, the LUR, there it is on top of the P. It's a real interesting late die state coin. About all that is. It's coin number 7. Ant. I like looking through pretty rolls. This is not pretty. Another very late die state reverse. Just generally kind of not so pretty. The coins themselves don't look bad when you just look at the coins. It's under a microscope where they turn to dirt. So I'll show you this very coin. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty decent coin. Here's the reverse and there's the obverse. It's pretty bright. Not a really bad looking coin under a little bit of light, but you stick it under a powerful microscope and you've got mud. That one for Taco John. Same thing again. Looks like we're probably going to end up with a roll of less than stellar coins. For die variety searching anyway. As for coins, they're all select a choice BU coins. So they are red uncirculated coins. They're just not pretty under a microscope. This will be the last one I look on the reverse of. You see all that die wear there around the RIBUS of pluribus. Looks kind of cool, but you know, so does a compound fracture, but their injury's all the same, right? Injuries to the die from it being so old. This is like wrinkles on an old person. It's going to happen. Most of the time it's not very pretty. Hello, Spike Tide Die Crack. That's 11. Now coin number 12. Stanley. Yeah, just another really late die state, 1954 here. Number 13. This one's for Carl. Where is Carl? Here we go. Do we actually have a real RPM now? Yeah, we kind of do. It's kind of really hard to see, but this is a doubled upper and lower serif. It is just not easy to see because it is so late die state. So I'll start a little pile for that. See if we run into any others. Coin number 14 now. 14 will go to Yeoman. Hush. Says that that wash, that planchet wash veining on it, that actually more used to seeing on 53 Philadelphia than the 53 Denvers. These are 54s. So yeah, 53, 54, same rule. The Philadelphia mint coins are usually the ones that have all this planchet wash issue on them. And that's what this is. It's an issue from the planchet wash. It contaminated the surface of the planchet so that after it was struck, those areas that had that planchet wash soap acid stuff on it turned the coin brown in little tiny streaks. And that's what you see under a microscope. All those little tiny brown streaks are from planchet wash issues. And it is unfortunately rather common. 53 and 54. Mostly Philadelphia coins, though. 54D sometimes comes better than this. I mean, quite often a little better than this. Still keep my bugged eyes peeled, watching for possibilities. You never know when you're going to run into something good. Coin 18 now. Eric? Yeah. Just too late die state to do anything with it. Story of life for a lot of these coins. They're good for album coins, but they're not good die variety coins. Definitely not going to be graders. So worth a couple bucks a piece. Unfortunately, not much more than that at all. Hello, Stanley. Stephen. Yeah, there's another one of the little RPMs. Nice little RPM. It looks like it's tripled upper. Not going to be anything else to work with here, though, but a tripled upper. That one's for Yo Man. Now coin number 21. 21 goes to Penny Hoarder. It's a normal 54D, very late die state. Now 22. Carl? No. No love. No love. Fantastic finds this week. Spiked Head Die Crack. You need to watch reveal number 411. 1960D. 410 was a 1955D. It did okay. There were a few decent varieties in it. Not a whole lot, though. A bunch of coins, just not very many different nice varieties. Roll number 411 was a 1960D. Contained double die obverse number 4 and RPM number 4, along with other nice RPMs. Ended up with half the coins in that roll total being die varieties. And the overall retail value of the roll was over $500. And the last roll we did, we just got finished with, before we came to this one, was a 1942D. It didn't really provide much of any real excitement. They were okay, decent coins. These 54D Lincolns here just are not pretty. They're just utilitarian coins. They are slightly spotted, a little bit disappointing, but still BU coins. And that's all I've got to offer for this week so far. Hasn't been the most spectacular week. Only the one roll really gave us anything to jump up and down about. I have had entire weeks that didn't have much of anything in any of the rolls, so yeah, it's an above average week, but it would be nice if it were above average with more than one roll. Found a $1888 Hot Lips and fine details. It amazes me how many coins like that are still out there undetected. People haven't found them. Such a hotly published variety, and people are still pulling them out of the wild. And Morgan dollars, I mean, they're the most looked at series of coins, other than Lincoln cents, in the entire world. So you would think anything major like that. I mean, that's like saying, I just found a 1955 double die at a dealer's table. I didn't know he had it, so I paid him a dime for it. That it's kind of like saying that. Anything you find that's top 100 listed or listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide, you got yourself a nice piece. If it turns out to be something like that in decent condition. Just altogether, pretty much an average roll. We're up to coin number 31 now. We found a couple of relatively minor die varieties that appear to be die varieties, but are very difficult to tell for sure because, we're talking about some coins that are well below standard. Generally speaking, this is interestingly different. I'm going to have to give this one a good study. This one actually looks like it's got possibly a D tilted 45 degrees under the primary D. Hard to tell what this is. That is interesting, though. It's the first one of those I've run into in this roll. We'll pull it out, give it a good shake for a study. This one's going to Brendan. He's a new guy. Well, new guy for reveals anyway. See if we can find any more of those. Perhaps that might be something of interest. One for Yo Man here. Well, that planchet wash has really gotten to this stuff. That's what happens when you take a improperly washed bunch of planchets. You mint them into coins, stick them in a roll, and then they go into like deep storage for many, many years in a place that allows a little bit of moisture to get into the coins. It ends up oxidizing all that planchet wash around the coin, and it turns parts of the coin in small streaks brown. While the overall coin appears to be a nice red BU, you don't really notice the brown till you get up close, and then you can start seeing all these little brown speckles and spots all over the coin. They're just not very highly attractive. I mean, it's a nice little album coin, but it's not something you're going to want to keep if you can upgrade it. So you guys want me to do some 1944 Philadelphia rolls. Probably do a 44 Philadelphia roll or two. I'm pretty sure I could get those at under. I'd get those done at probably around $4 a coin. Yeah, I don't think there is anything listed, Mr. Adams. I'm going to have to do an overlay on that and see what it turns out to be, because it's interesting nonetheless. But it is the only one I've seen so far in this roll. So, given that, there is some chance it could be individual coin damage as well, but it didn't appear to be. Looked like it had to be something. Ant wants me to do a 1944 plain roll. How about other people here? 1944 plain. If I can get it relatively cheap, like around $3 or $4 a coin. Sound like a hit to anybody else? What is that? Looks like the die got all ripped up down there. That's interesting. Hello, Mr. French. We haven't yet run into the rolls that you were involved in. I believe you got involved in the last 2 or 3 rolls. We're not down to that point yet. Well, it looks like I got a whole bunch of people who think that 44 plain seems to be a good shot. There are a lot of double dies in 1944 plain. I just typically like to stick with things that have a possibility of RPMs as well, because I think you kind of limit yourself as to what you're looking for when you go with Philadelphia minted coins. But I'm fine with doing whatever you guys want me to do, of course within reason. Here's number 41, Penny Hoarder. Penny, 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 hoarder, hoarder, hoarder. Yeah. Let's look at coin number 42 now, Stephen. This show's not even going to be a 30-minute show, which is okay, I guess. Once in a while, rolls like this are going to pop out. We have to have the crappy rolls here and there to make the good rolls seem that much better. It's unfortunate that this happens, though, because these are of collectible quality. It's not that they're uncollectible coins. It's just that they don't look all that pretty under a microscope, because they are all late to very late die state and have very little character remaining on them. See, look, I mean, see that? That's just that looks really nice when you pull it out under a light and just look at it. You got a couple little spots on the coin, but when you put it under a microscope, it looks like someone minted it through a chocolate bar. This one for Crispy, coin number 44. That one there. Now 45. DN. You usually expect 54D to look a little nicer than this. Here's number 46, going back to Dennis again. 46 is just as ugly as the others. Just some frying pan ugly late die state coins here. 47, Taco John. Paul Hampton, 48 now. Let's see what Paul gets here. And just another very late die state, 1954 D. $49 JJ. JJ's coin. Yeah, it's there. You just found a 51 D over D over D that's not listed. That's interesting. And now coin number 50 for Rockzilla. End of the roll. Roll end toner on the reverse. Here's the obverse. I'll flip it over and show you the reverse when we get to it. Just your everyday typical looking 1954 D. And you look at the reverse, and the reverse has some color. There it is. Pretty nice looking color on the reverse where it was facing the outside of the repper. And that, folks, is that. I have 3 possible die varieties that need to be looked at in further detail, and then a relook at the roll to see if there's any matches to them. But that's it. 13, 20, and 31 are my 3 coins. Well, unfortunately, that's all I have. Mark is talking about a wheat bag that he bought from me, an unsearched wheat bag of pennies. And I do have wheat bags available if anybody wants them. You can just ask me about them and I'll let you know what the going price is on them. And besides that, I think I'm just going to spend a little bit more time this evening getting ready for tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow. I've got a couple of reveals that I'll be doing during the day. A 1962 D roll, a 2011 P roll. And then tomorrow evening, I'll be doing the penny proof pull. And maybe another reveal, but probably not. I'll probably wait on the reveals, do all the reveals on Friday. I've got 3 reveals remaining after that. There'd be a 49S, a 44D, and a 44S. And then Saturday evening, I will probably do the nickel proof pull. This coming week, we'll be doing a singles pull. Singles pull is where you get single coins, proof coins, dimes, nickels, pennies, wheat pennies, Indians, just whatever happens to be in the bag comes out, goes into a flip with some identification on it and a value. And your value, whatever you run up with on the value on the coins, is going to be more than you spend on the coins that you're getting. That reveal will be sold, or that proof pull, that singles pull will be sold this coming Tuesday. All right, folks, I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe, and have a good night.